Welcome back and Happy New Year. Welcome to another exciting episode of It Stinks right here on the Boom Broadcasting. Big episode to kick off the January New Year. First episode of It Stinks right here on Boom Broadcasting because I had to go get a friend, a fellow Boom Broadcasting brother of mine, to come on the show today as we break down Stranger Things Season 5 final episode. I cannot wait. Strap on your seatbelt. Get ready. Let's go. It's time to watch It Stinks on Boom Broadcasting. Let's go.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
It stinks.
Welcome back, It Stinks fans. And yes, I had to go get my good friend, my Boom Broadcasting brother. I told you he was going to stop by. You know him best from Three from Deep and Sideline Savants. And he just celebrated a milestone on Boom Broadcast by having your 100th episode a week ago. Jason, welcome to It Stinks and be the first ever guest to be on It Stinks. So truly, it is an exciting time for It Stinks right here on the Boom Broadcasting.
I'm honored, man. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me on. Super stoked. I love the show. Man, let's get it. We got some stuff to talk about tonight.
Jason, Stranger Things just wrapped up. Good finale. A lot of people been talking about the good and the bad. That's what we're going to do right here on It Stinks. We're going to break it down to what we thought went right, what we thought could have been better with writing, all of that stuff. But just before we even get started, let me ask this question, Jason.
Shoot.
Where does Stranger Things rank at for Netflix? To me, it's the show that really put Netflix to the next level of letting people know that Netflix is not just a streaming service to go back and watch old movies, but they could create good content and binge-worthy shows like Stranger Things.
Oh, this is the benchmark. They hit this out of the park. They created a cultural phenomenon. So Netflix kind of gave everybody a blueprint now with Stranger Things on character creation, storylines, how to lead everybody, how to kind of keep everybody hooked and keep everybody watching. So yeah, it was knocked out of the park. Netflix did phenomenal with this. I know they got spinoffs possibly coming too here with the Stranger Things, which we'll probably talk about here. But yeah, this is it. This blueprint. This is how they did it. You know, you see a lot of these other streaming networks trying to copy and recreate what they've done here.
Yes.
But right now, there's only going to be one Stranger Things, and I don't think it's going to go away for a long time.
No, not at all. The one thing that really grabbed me when I first watched it was both of us grew up in the 80s and 90s, not telling our age, but the 80s nostalgia. It hooked me in.
Gray hair here.
I try to hide. I try to dilute the gray. That age nostalgia hooked me in on Stranger Things, and that's what really got me grabbing too. Because a lot of the music they played was stuff I hadn't heard from the 80s in the skating rink and hanging out with all my friends back then.
Yes, same, man. I mean, again, I grew up 80s and 90s, and not just that, just a lot of the things the kids did were the same things we did. We grew up in skating rinks. We grew up playing at friends' house. We grew up staying out past, with the street lights on. We rode our bikes everywhere. We did all the stuff that they did. Video arcade. When was the last time you've been into a video game arcade? So those are the kind of things. Yeah, so the nostalgia, that hit hard. That hit a lot of us hard.
Well, when you look at the final episode right here, a lot of people say this could be the greatest episode because Stranger Things now has been categorized as one of the greatest shows ever. Let's jump into the breakdown and just kind of see and talk it out about what we think. So we open up right there. We know they're going back to the upside down world. They got some things, spoiler-free show. If you haven't watched it, hit pause.
Yep.
So they're going back to the upside down world. They've been leading up to this big fight with Vincent, all the stuff going on that they've been leading up to. Just what do you think going into the opening? How do you feel? Because a lot of things that were left out in that opening scene when they get into the upside down world, they kind of left me a little puzzled. So what do you think about the opening scenes of it?
I think it was great how they let into it, but I think you just started right off the gate thinking, okay, who's not going to make it? So
Right.
like right out the gate, you're like, okay, someone's not going to make it. Who's going to start? Who are we going to start missing? So like it started kind of your anxiety right off the bat, just started going crazy because you're thinking, okay, this can go wrong, that can go wrong. So like yeah, they opened it good. The way they did it, the way they led into the show, the final show, they did a good job with that because you were hooked instantaneously. So
Yes.
now you're just wondering what the heck's going on. Is their plan going to work? Who's not going to make it? Because with
Right.
all this stuff leading up to it, you're seeing all the stuff on the internet, whatever, of people not going to make it. So you're just so like every turn you're wondering, oh shoot, is this their time? Oh, okay. So yeah, it was good stuff. I like the way they opened it.
And going into that scene right there, who did you think was not going to be the one that was going to make it? I know who I thought it was.
I mean,
I know we chatted about it the other day.
yeah. I mean, really thought they Steve because he has such a loyal following and a huge following. So what better way to like shock everybody is take him out. So he was I think he was my first goner of the show, but Steve the Hair Harrington. So when he kind of had his little senior like and
Yes.
like emotionally, you're again roller coaster right out the gate. So that was my guy. Like, man, can't take Steve out, and they led up to some hints about him possibly not making it too. So that really kind of like that jerked you in your chair a little bit.
Mine was Mike and Dustin. I knew they couldn't take Mike out because he was a storyteller. If you play
Right.
Dungeons and Dragons, the storyteller tells the story of the game as you're playing.
Right.
So I knew Mike couldn't go, but I said, if you really want to shock everybody, kill Mike at some point and then finish it like that. But I definitely thought it would have definitely drug everybody, tugged on everybody's heart, would either been Steve or Dustin. I did not want Dustin to die, man.
No.
Not giving it away right now, but Stranger Things, if you're watching this, my daughter said it best last night. Steve and Dustin need their own spinoff.
Oh yeah,
wholeheartedly. They would knock it out of the park.
Even if it's not Stranger Things, just the actors together, those guys have an unbelievable like chemistry together. It's so fun to watch them. They would make it'd be either a rom-com or like an just something where they're just together, even if it's like a reality show with them together. I think everybody would watch it because they had some pretty cool chemistry on that set, and you could see it in the way their action.
Yeah, the action was good and the chemistry was great. I'm telling you, you couldn't ask for better. Those two right there, and they definitely could.
Yep.
Definitely have a good spell. Like I said, reality TV show, anything will work with that, Jason.
Let's go. Bring it up. Yep. Rock and roll.
So now we're going into the upside down world. Like we said, anxiety's high. We know that nobody has not died yet, so we know somebody's got to die.
Oh, yeah. Sweating.
Somebody has to die. Then you get to the point of the show now where Erica pretty much told them they're in. You feel good. And then what happens? The army shows up at the church where Erica has been hiding out with her with her teacher, the science teacher, to help break the COVID to get in.
Yeah.
This is when I kind of start having questions.
Oh, big time. That's like when it started because, like, the army shows up, goes in the building, but doesn't show what happens. They find the squawk van, so that's their next breadcrumb to where to go. But you don't know what happens to the teacher. You don't know what happens to Erica, who is a great. Both of them, did phenomenal as far as their characters. But Erica, I mean, she was a lot of fun. Lucas's sister, again, she's another one. I think she could probably have a detective show by herself, just with her that attitude and the way she was on the show. Man, was awesome. So, but yeah, that's like, okay, now what? You showed him go in, but not what happened. Then you just cut to something else.
And I think that's where they dropped the ball at right there because every time the army shows up, You showed them getting somebody capturing somebody.
Right.
It left me wondering, like, did they capture him? Did they let him go?
Right.
And all that leads up to the end because you don't see them until the end of the show.
Exactly.
So now we're inside, Hopper's in there, and the whole time I'm thinking, when they're inside the laboratory in Hawkins in the upside down world, I keep telling they're setting it up that Hopper's going to do something.
Right.
And L has a great conversation with him later on in the show, but I really thought they could have moved that conversation at the beginning when they got into the Hawkins lab, when she says, no matter what happens, I'm an adult now. I'm not a child. Let me fight and let me do what I need to do to protect the world. So they're setting it up. And now here comes when my mind starts thinking, Jason, is Kylie going to turn heel?
Ooh, I know everybody was thinking that too. Yeah, big time. Big time. They're like, man, because is she like, does she have her own agenda? Is she working for Vecna? Is she a vessel also? Like she's there to poison it? So yeah, everybody was waiting for that something to kind of happen. Especially since Hopper was smelling her out too, and had his own reservations. And then of course, Vecna kind of getting away and getting in there and getting in his head. That was a whole nother thing. But yeah, we were waiting for her. We were waiting for her to do something.
And I thought right there, so you said Vecna got in his head. We're gonna jump right to that point right there, Jason. This is where I thought they could change some of the writing.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I know it was a memory and that Vecna had gotten his head, but I really thought Hopper had shot him.
Full on.
I mean, like my mouth dropped to the ground, my heart dropped to the ground. I said the mission is over. Like you kill the fake to be able to save humanity.
Oh yeah. No, and it was weird the way they did it too, because again, they kind of hinted on Hopper's past about being in the military.
Yes.
And when they showed the herbicide cans with the 1966 date, I think that's what kind of, and then of course showing his daughter that passed away, I think they really hinted at something there that had some kind of link to do with it that really set him off and made him feel the way that his military campaign, wherever he was around some of the stuff that he was around, caused what happened with his daughter. So I think that mentally was in his head, but they never really touched on that or showed that really in the show.
They didn't, and that was one point that I thought that the writers definitely could have honed back in. You could have had some flashbacks play
something,
showing why Harper got so pretty much PTSD in that moment right there. We start seeing everything going around, especially when they had the daughter dying. That's been the key of the story, that really L has taken the role of Sarah, the daughter that died.
Right.
L's the daughter he never had. And I
right.
really thought that they just didn't tighten it up. I know it was only 2 hours, 8 minutes. You couldn't do so much, but that was a key point that they could have really tightened up.
They could have dropped some breadcrumbs throughout the episodes to kind of give you a little more of that backstory. Yes, it's emotional, but why was it that much more emotional? And I think they could have touched on that too, because again, I don't think a lot of people noticed that herbicide vision that he had with the military cans and why that set him off the way it did.
Then you also had the point of where we kind of jumped over this scene, a big scene when Max is at the radio station. She has pretty much gone into trance because she's in the mind, L's in her mind, and she's helping Kylie and L go through Vecna's mind, because she knows Vecna's mind inside out from being trapped in all his memories throughout his entire life. That was a big scene right there. Really felt they could have done a little bit more. I mean, they did just enough to let you know, but a good teaser was when we saw the water, because when Max just got up and started walking, I was like, what's going on? Like, they're going left. But then when they saw the water puddles, if you watch Stranger Things, you knew kind of she was in L's mind at that time.
And they almost made it seem like it was a surprise. So like when Robin's girlfriend dropped the cereal bowl, like she was freaking out, like it was almost like it was a surprise, like they didn't expect to hack into Max's head. Like she wasn't really expecting it, which was kind of weird. I don't know if maybe I missed something. Again, I'm going to go back and watch all kinds of stuff here, but I didn't know if that maybe was part of the plan. I could see why they wanted Max and her help, but I think they could have done more to get her ready for that. Like, hey, as soon as we get in there, we're hacking you, and let's make sure you're in a spot where if something does go south, you're not exposed. Because like you're sitting in the middle of the radio station, fully exposed, like nothing's happening.
And that would have been a good time when they were putting the plan together, Operation Beanstalk. They had a good hiding place that they ended up hiding it when the Army came. Right. But I'm like you, Jason. They should already have that planned out that we're going to already have you here. So when the Army raids the building, they can't find you guys.
Right. Yeah, because you got to think that something's going to go down. You got to be ready for all contingencies. You got to be ready.
Yes. So leading up to right now, has anything you saw in your notes you want to make any changes to?
No, I think I'm good there. Going up to it again, the way the show's been leading. Yeah, you had a few things you needed to, maybe you could get into a few conversations that could have been a little bit shorter, because I know that drives everybody nuts in the Stranger Things episodes is nobody moves fast. The wormhole's open. Nobody wants to run. Everybody wants to sit and talk. Like, I know that drives everybody nuts. It's like they're sitting here waiting for someone to run, and you're just, we all talking, having a conversation. So it's like, shorten the conversation. Let's get going. So, but no, right now, up to where we're at, I was good.
Same thing. I was good. I felt like it didn't drag. I felt like they did a good pace of getting you ready. Because like you said, somebody's going to die. We're getting you ready.
Right.
Now we roll into about the 45-minute mark of Stranger Things, and now the plane has to go in action. Everybody's on the radio tower.
Right.
Elle's in the chamber. She's in the hydraulic chamber. Collie's over there with her blindfold on, and she's in Elle's mind. Max there in Max's mind. Max is in a trance. Max now is at the school where all of them went at as high school kids. Henry's high school when he was in high school. And the first question come up, where does Henry live? And Max don't know.
Right. Well, it was the mind thing. She had been trapped in there, and it wasn't like a straight line. You had to go through all these different rooms, and then the one they went into with the stage, they never really showed that before. So that was kind of a new memory for Henry that we saw. So we weren't expecting that. We were expecting her to go maybe a different route to get to the house through Henry's, memories. So that was something new. I'm gonna say it was an awkward transition.
I was a little shocked because Max had talked about the previous episode how she knew Henry's mind inside out.
Right. Yeah, she'd been in there for 2 years. You've been there for you're hanging out for 2 years in there, so you got to know.
So you should know every crack turn there is, and then as soon as we get to the school, Kyla says, "Okay, how do you get this house?" I don't know. I was like, I just felt like she should have said going into that, I know his mind, but there's parts of his mind I may have not explored. So when you get to that point, like I said, they did a good job of creating a new path, going to the play, and then boom, waiting on the right second to go right into the house.
Right.
So I wasn't upset with that, but I just felt like the writers could have just tightened that up and tweaked it a little bit. So now we're at Henry's house, and now everything is getting ready to go because now we know it is time for the battle. We've been waiting on it. Elle versus Vecna. It's already in favor of Booker T. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Right. Yep.
So the kids had to be revealed to them that Henry is not who he says it is. Kylie cast an illusion spell. I thought that was great. I really thought the kids were gone. So how do you feel about that part right there?
This is where I kind of thought they really started to missing the mark just a little bit. Okay. Yes. Elle comes in, knocks him down. It's like, okay, you knock him, you show the kids what he really is, so you can get their minds free a little bit of, okay, Max is a bad person, but no, she's not. She's the one trying to save you. So you're trying to mentally help these kids acclimate to really what's going on. So I get the whole showing, but then when Elle finally knocks Henry down, why did she just rip him in half? Why did she knock him down and then you had to wait for the sister to jump in and try to stab him with the knife on the table? Like to me, that was like, what were you waiting for? You just gave him an opportunity to disappear, which is when he disappeared and kind of got in the Hopper's mind. So it's like, why didn't you just hover him, hold him, rip him? Let's all have some cake and be done. Like it was a weird moment that Elle had to push him down on the table and the sister had to finish him off. You were just inviting, for something to happen. So that's where it kind of got a little like, why did they do that? Then you start questioning that kind of stuff.
That's where I got cloudy. I thought everything leading up to that one scene was perfect. They wanted, Max had pretty much told the kids, hey, we're going to expose Henry, let you know that he's the fraud that he is. He's not Mr. What guy who you think he is trying to save you. He is the monster. And then to go to plan, I'm like, so we had all day to come up with this plan. And the biggest thing you can think of is knock him down. Callie has to run in from the other room and stab him.
Yeah,
you mean to tell me you got Hopper, who's a chief of police, been in service, knows every tactical guerrilla warfare tactic that is, and that's what you come up with.
Yeah, that was a little weak. You were inviting something to happen, and it made it obvious. Like it could have been written in a little bit different way, a little more of a struggle for him to get away and to get out. That was too easy of an out, and too many things could have gone wrong, which of course it did.
Because it made me wonder right there, did he have the type of power that now Kylie has where he can teleport and create himself as an illusion? It just left a lot of questions on the table. But I will say one thing, Jason, the breakout character in this scene right here was Derek. Derek was the breakout character.
He had everybody. He had everybody going. Yep. His attitude and everything. He had the one-liners. They you're gonna see them one-liners on memes forever. So suck my fat one. You're gonna hear it all. So yeah, he definitely played the part and did great with his role being that kid in school, because I know we all had one of them kids in school.
So now they're getting ready to run in the woods. We know that Henry cannot go in the cave. Max has devoured a plan for them. Max, L, and Kylie have devoured a plan to get the kids to the cave to try to get to the next world to save them. As we run in the cave, Henry's gone. L disappears because we already talked about that scene where we thought Hopper had killed her when the illusion came and Vecna got in his mind. Kylie disappears, Matt disappears. And so now Holly has to lead all them to the cave. Thought this scene was good right here. Wasn't too long, was just right.
It was pretty good, and I liked that. But again, the whole running thing. Anytime anybody has to get from point A to point B in the show, always was drug out, and you're just like, can you please just guys get there? And so again, it's one of those things where you're like yelling at the TV.
Yes.
It's a classic 80s horror movie, scream at the TV moment. A lot of those in Stranger Things where you're yelling at the TV, shut up and run. There's one of those moments here. But again, I think they could have had more of a plan to get through, get in the cave and get out, because Max already knew the way out, which was through the cave, down into the tunnel and get out. So it's like, okay, you get in the cave, you take a deep breath, but you keep going. Why Henry can't come in here, but you got to realize you've woken the hornet's nest. This guy's going to do everything in his power to come find you because he needs you. So do you not think he's going to try to get in that cave? He's going to do whatever he can to get in there. So I don't know. Again, it was one of those yell at the TV moments. Let's go, guys. You're wasting time.
And we forgot a very important segment in this. Right before that, before L disappears, they do stop Henry. They stop the worlds from colliding. The antenna's not the right place. And this is the point. When I said everybody's on this radio antenna, Jason, somebody's dying. Somebody's dying. Yep. It's set up for failure.
Yeah. And then, of course, Steve falls off. There's the big, oh, no moment. You see the hair flying, going over the side, and then he gets rescued at one point in time. I don't know why they didn't wait for the worlds to get closer at first.
Yes.
Let the antenna and then let it stop and then climb up the antenna. I don't know why you waited at a 500 foot, the top of antenna, and then you kind of figured out, well, wait a minute, it's not lining up right. So again, it was one of those. They should have waited at the bottom first, let the world, and then went up. So just in case, fail safe. If it doesn't work and it starts hitting the antenna, what's the next plan? So they needed a better backup plan there than everybody, the whole party being at the top, and then you get squished, and then now what? You just lost the whole party.
So I thought things going good. Like I said, good pace for Stranger Things. Still some questions I asked about. I thought that scene when Steve was going to die. I tell you, that was another scene when my heart dropped to the ground. I was like,
sweating.
The guy who you did not want to die.
No,
you just killed him.
He's number one. He's like him and Dustin. Those are like the two guys. Anybody else probably could have gotten whacked in the show. You probably would have been okay, but those two guys, there would have been an emotional outcrying. Like it would have been, the internet would have shut down.
Especially when Dustin just nailed it at the episode before that when he told Steve, "I don't want nobody else to die." I thought he nailed that scene to lead up to this episode right here.
That got you. That hooked you in. You watched Eddie pass away and everything. So, but yeah, that got you. And then all that stuff just started flashing in front of your head as soon as that scene happened.
So now they're running. We're going to go back to Hawkins' laboratory. They're running because the army has gotten in. Pretty much my man throws the bomb to stop the plane and stop all that stuff. And the gunshot is fired after the bomb is thrown. Because they pretty much say he was going to kill Kylie because Harper and L. Now, here's the point where I asked myself a question, Jason.
Shoot.
Harper, grown tail adult, two young girls who are playing the age of 14 and 16, 16 probably.
Right.
Harper could not carry both of them at one time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, or drag or something, or it could have been a little fast. Again, delayed. Picked up L, brought her to a safe spot, and then just kind of waited. And looked at Elle and go, okay, I feel a little guilty now. Like you waited to after the fact. And but I love Murray Bauman, the bald eagle. I think he was one of my favorite characters. Man, he did a phenomenal job on that. He was such a fun character in this show. I think an unsung hero. Definitely, again, one of my favorites. Just the acting, his voice, his one-liners, phenomenal. Loved Murray on the show, man. He was great.
Murray was my number 3 who could not die. Steve, Dustin, Murray, my top 3. They could not die.
No, yeah, that loved Murray, man, and he did a great job. But again, stuff just got drawn out a little too much. You're like, hurry up, don't think about it. I mean, you know that this sonic thing messes up L's powers, so why would you even hesitate? You got a grenade, throw the grenade. Don't even contemplate it. I don't even think you needed C4. You could have just threw the grenade. I think that would have sufficed and blown up but anyway, it was drawn out. It was what needed to happen. But with her, sister getting shot,
I kind of felt when her sister getting shot, that was the cheap way to kill somebody. I felt like they had people that they could have killed, but they knew they had to kill somebody. That was the cheap way of killing somebody. I just felt like if you're going to kill somebody, let's kill somebody that truly means something to the show. I mean, Kylie meant something to the show, but she was that core group. What you think?
Well, and then the other thing is I didn't understand is, the military did so much to try to capture these girls. And I know that one officer kind of had his own agenda and went off the rails a little bit and had a little whatever. But you're trying to capture girls. Why did they even shoot her? Like, why would you kill her when she was part of whatever plan that you had going on? You wanted her and her powers. You wanted Elle and her powers. Why would you even shoot her? If anything, I would have shot Hopper. Yes. He's the military guy. He has nothing to do with your plans after the fact. He wasn't part of your experiment. Callie was part of the experiment, and you pulled in and shot her. I mean, I don't know. Didn't that kind of again?
Yeah, that's where it didn't make sense right there because I felt like if anything, you shoot Hopper and you capture Callie. We got one of them. Now we're coming for number two.
And you can use her for bait to get L because L's the
Yes.
I mean, like I said, they did it the wrong way. But I do love the way once the helicopter blew up and the sound machine was shut off there, that L took Homeboy out and popped him.
Yeah.
That was kind of a fitting. That kind of was a nice fitting end to it. But yeah, I think they could have tightened that scene up and that interaction up a little bit more.
So about 50 minutes in, maybe an hour in now, and we still have not gotten to what we've been waiting on. L versus Vecna.
Yep.
So we're leading up to that. You feel like now is time. L has a discussion up there with Murray, has a discussion with Bald Eagle and Hopper. She wants to do it. This is when she gives to me the award-winning speech of the episode when she tells Hopper, "I'm not Sarah." I was like, wow, standing ovation.
Right. I have a choice and made her choice. Trust me to make the right decision. Again, great speech. It was a little weird. Hey, I can hop and jump to those things. I was like, well, wait a minute. That's a long way. That was a long way.
Yes.
It was just, again, it was a little weird on how she got there. Could have made it a little shorter speech. Again, you're talking about, hey man, we got time. We're time sensitive here to try to make all this plan work. So, but no, it was a great speech from her, and an emotional speech too, because I think Hopper needed to hear that too, more for himself than anything.
All her friends, the whole crew is up there in Dimension X in Vecna's world. She gets up there. This is where we know now we're getting ready to get to the pretty much whole what the episode's all about.
Yep.
I paused the show because I want to see the time.
Right.
Like, man, we still got about an hour to go. It's gonna be a long fight, but it's worth it. Because
right. This Royal Rumble. This is you talking about. This is the main event. Main event. Right, 10 years in the making. This is the main event. This is what's all led up to.
I felt good. I said we got an hour. I felt good. I felt it was going to be a good knockdown, drag out match.
Oh, it'd have been something bloody. There's going to be, and this is where it kind of went off the rails for me a little bit too here. And this is where everybody gets up into the other dimension. Yes, you're now an interdimensional space traveler, which again, they touched on, but didn't really touch on, which is going to be interesting to see if they do something with that aspect of it. But where are the Demogorgons? Where are the Demidogs?
Yes.
Like all this is going on. Like those things showed up. They took Holly, damn near killed the Wheeler parents.
Yes.
And then that was the last we saw of them?
Nothing else. And I asked my wife during this, Jason, I said, okay, we're in Vecna's world. And anytime, if you play Mario Brothers, if you play any type of game that you got to save the world, before you get to Bowser, you got to go through the Turtle Men and all that stuff. They ain't Vecna's world. They just got to walk right through the door. I felt that's where we dropped the ball.
Yep. Man, it's like, it just like, what would we do? Wait a minute. We're missing the whole thing here.
Yes. Nothing for them to fight. Just a clear walk right into them. Same kids.
And then how do you know which way you're going? I guess, I mean, there wasn't really like, you're in another world and let's just go this way. And we just happen to go the right way. But no, like even if you go back to when Vecna was first sent to that world, when L sent him there, one of the first, I think it was in season 3 I think it was in season 3 when she sent him there and he falls and then ends up into, you saw the Demidogs and the Demogorgons like all around him. And those things looked kind of like the Mind Flayer, especially the big creature once he finally showed himself. So it's like, where did they all go? You're being attacked. You have this party here. You're being attacked. Like, why didn't he send them to go get Hopper and the guys in the lab? Why didn't he send them out there against the rival party. You had
That's
all
right.
the bats that ended up coming and killing Eddie. Where did all those bats go? Like there was
Yeah.
all of a sudden everything disappeared, and that didn't make any sense. That's what kind of got me a little bit. It's like, okay, all these things were here killing these people, and all of a sudden they just all disappeared,
Well,
like nothing ever happened.
that's what I told my wife, Jason. I said, we're in his world. We're on his battleground.
Yep, and
So
you're
we got
and you're and
there's
you're
nothing that
moving
fight.
and you're moving the planet. Obviously, your end game is I'm going to take my planet, the Mind Flare, and I'm going to
Yes.
merge it with this other planet. So I'm thinking, okay, this is an invasion, and when you have an invasion, you're going to have an army with you to
Yes.
go into the other side. There was no other army. Like you weren't bringing anybody with you. You had all these things with you. The first 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden, the
Just
last
go.
show, they all gone. We put them on break. We're just we don't need them no more. It just that like really kind of itched at me, man. It's like, dang. What I would have loved to have seen them fighting the Demogorgons and
Yes.
something to have a battle to get to the Mind Flare, but no, it was just a walk in the desert.
Here we go. Open up the door. Let's go fight. I
All
was
right, here we go.
disappointed because, like I said, somebody playing Mario Brothers, all these adventure games, Star Fox, Zelda, all this stuff. Before you get to Bowser, you had to go through the Koopa Troopers, and you had
Exactly.
none of that.
Nothing. It's like it was just so weird. It's like, I mean, did you run out of money? I mean, you got enough money. I mean, did the CGI department just quit on you and you couldn't do any more CGI? But it's like, okay, they went, they got Holly, they killed, tried to kill the Wheeler parents, and then the bats ate Eddie. So you had no bats, no dogs, no Demogorgons. You had absolutely nothing going going on in the upside down, and then going on up on the planet. That there was supposedly all these things roaming around. That was weird to me. Very, very weird.
The Mind Blower finally shows his face. Everybody's been waiting for this. We knew it was coming. I had pretty much forgot how the Mind Blower looked. Because you remember in season 2, they showed the Mind Blower where that picture was in the background. Then you just saw nothing else of it. So seeing the Mind Blower morph into this giant big spider, I was like, it could have been a little, like I said, had some Demogorgon stuff out there to kind of make it a little bit more fierce. I'm like, it's a spider,
Space spider.
Yes.
But, and that's the thing where I got a little like, okay, so the Mind Flare, was this smoke, was this entity kind of came in different forms and can like form itself. Was it using the space spider as a vessel? Because a lot of times they talked about the Mind Flare and how it infiltrated you and how you were a vessel for it. So how Vecna was a vessel for the Mind Flare, how Will was a vessel for the Mind Flare. So I wonder if this thing, and you were thinking that the whole time, so I'm thinking, well, maybe this creature, like the Demogorgons, are just a vessel, and that they need to whack this thing, and then the real Mind Flare is going to show up. Like it's going to come out of him or something else. Because there's somebody. It's like Oz. There's somebody pulling the strings of this thing. But no, the thing over the last 5 seasons, over the past 10 years, the thing that's been controlling everything is just a dormant space spider. It was like, wait a minute, there should have been more. There was something missing. I mean, call me crazy. There was something missing.
No, there was something missing at all. It was something missing because you just felt like it should have been more than what we got.
Yeah, and then you beat them with a flamethrower and a couple gunshots and
a blade to his stomach.
I mean, I know that Vecna and that thing were kind of connected. So if you kill one, you kind of hurt the other. But again, I thought there should have been more with the flare. And I still think, and I would have liked to seen maybe an Easter egg of, I know when they started, going ahead too much, but when they started pulling the kids and you saw the flare, the smoke come out of their mouth, I would have liked to have seen something like that. Like, hey, this thing vessel may be dead, but it's still out there. It's whatever it wants. It now just needs to find someone else to control.
Get into the fight scene now. L is in there. They've been fighting this mind flare. Like I said, flamethrower, shotgun, sling blades, you name it.
Water
Kitchen
balloon.
sink.
There's some water balloons in there too. It's I think some
Yeah,
point where he shot the flare gun at the it blew up. He shooting water balloons at it.
I thought they did have a good comedy sketch when Mike asked Nancy for a gun and he gives her the flare gun and he didn't know what that was. And then Lucas says the flare gun now.
Yeah, I love it.
I said, that's another one of those one-liners that was classic. I also thought that they had a few more of those one-liners in there that you just couldn't beat, but that was a classic one, Jason.
Right. Yeah. And then Nancy looking like Rambo First Blood was a little interesting too. This sweet suburban girl, ends up becoming a machine gun toting killer, which was kind of
badass.
Yeah, she was badass and was just interesting to see that transformation this whole time was pretty interesting.
Big fight scene, Vecna versus L, what we all been waiting for. And It's like, it happened and it ended.
Yeah, it's quick.
No storytelling, nothing. Just a couple of moves. She's on the ropes. Will gets in his mind. Will tells his big speech, which I thought was great. That Will told, we're not scared of you. I'm not scared. He thought that was great. And then that's it. Like,
snap the arm. Just kill them. And that's where it just kind of went off the rails a little bit on what you were expecting. I have so many questions about Vecna's mind, Henry Creel, however you want to say it, in the tunnel there with the scientist down, his memory, which he was deathly afraid of. That's why he couldn't go in the caves, because this memory was so traumatic as a child. He couldn't really go in there. So that's when, again, I started thinking back and I'm like, okay, who is this guy? Where is he from? He's out in the middle of nowhere. Is there a laboratory near here? He's yelling at Henry, like, who sent you? You're a scientist, and you can see that this is a little kid dressed in a Boy Scout uniform. And you're thinking he's like the Gestapo coming after you. So you're like questioning him. So like that didn't make sense. Henry, the guy shoots at him. And again, if I'm a kid and I see this guy and he pulls a gun on me, I'm running. I'm going the other way. And all of a sudden, Henry gets kind of shot and then snaps and crushes him with a rock. And again, he's good with it. He kind of hangs around. Again, as a kid, I probably would have, you would have ran, or you would have been somewhat emotional. But then he opens the case, and that's where the shard is in there. And that's where, again, I have so many questions of the shard. The guy is not dead. He kind of wakes up a little bit and says it'll consume you.
You gotta fight it.
It'll consume all. Like, to me, that means, okay, this shard, have they had this experience before? Do they know what this thing is? Do they know what it's going to do? Has this happened before? So like, there's so many other questions about that memory in the tunnel where this kind of all started from. And then of course that thing absorbs into Henry's hand. And that's the only time you hear the mind flare talk, is when that thing goes in his hand and he kind of, you see the smoke and it says, come find me. So again, you're like, okay, it didn't show it as the space spider. It showed it as this dark mass. And he's a kid, but he doesn't really find him until L pushes him back. So like, where he was going when L kind of threw him through the wall, was he able to control himself and go where the flare went? Like, there's so many other crazy questions about that, and about what that guy said about the shard, about the mind flare speaking. The only time we ever heard it talk was really, really weird. And I think, again, they did not touch on any of that or really give you anything leading up to that.
I felt like they lost us right there, because I felt that was a powerful scene. Very powerful scene, because now you finally figure out how Henry got
definitely
the power.
Was.
And it just, you left us hanging. You gave us no backstory, none of that. So
Nothing,
I felt like it's
nothing.
where they
And
dropped
again,
the
so I
ball.
wonder if that's going to be. I wonder if that's going to be again an Easter egg part of how it
Spin out.
started. But when he said a spinoff, and I said when that scientist before he died, when he said it will consume you, will consume you all, um, they must have known what this thing was, and this
Mhm.
must have happened. Something like this must have happened before. So for him to kind of say those things, um, it's important, but they didn't finish it in the story
No.
in this finale. They just kind of left you with that, and you're like, okay, so scientists knew about this already. Military probably knew about this already. They had this space shard. Where did it come from? Why did that guy steal it and try to run? Like, there's just too many questions with that one scene right there.
I also felt that this is where we could have really, like you said, hit home with it right there. They just left us hanging. I
Right.
think Henry, I really thought at that point that Will was in Henry's mind, and he pretty much
Right.
gave his good speech. You're just a vessel like me. I thought Henry was going to turn sides, but Henry said it needed me and I needed it.
Right.
You need the power. So now Vecna's pretty much been defeated. Will comes in, helps breaks. L is on the ropes. Will come in, helps L. I thought that scene was good. I just didn't like that Will could fight, but not be nowhere. I really would like to see him get inside of the Mind Flayer's body with L and maybe fight on the sideline, not fight outside of the building.
Yeah, they could have it would have been more impactful if they were standing together, kind of fighting
Yes.
at the same time, side by side. It would have had a little more oomph with him. And again, I think they could have let a little bit more on, why was he part of the hive? How did that happen? Like they
Right.
just all of a sudden he just, oh, I'm part of the hive mind now. Like, well, that just popped up out of nowhere. Like all the seasons before that, he was having the visions and the issues. He can feel the flare.
Yes.
But how could he not see it? How come he wasn't getting any project? Like they could have dropped a few more things leading up to this to kind of go a little deeper on how he was connected to the mind flare mentally. So it was just weird how they ended it like that.
Finally, Vecna dies, Jason. Here's the point where I get upset. I get upset right here. I'm pissed. I'm like, it stinks. I'm saying it stinks. The one person when Vecna's squirming, he's coming back to life. You feel like, oh man, he's coming back round 2.
Right. Yep.
Will's mom, and I understand the mom should have done this.
Right.
But I felt like it would have just been more if Will would have been the one to chop his head off.
Yeah. I get the mom did it, and what she said. Yeah, what she said. It was, but it's like why everybody was standing around waiting for that. Like,
yes,
you never just kind of wait. And again, it's one of those 80s horror movie moments. When you think the thing is dead, it's not really dead. Look, rule number 1: if you're running into the woods, don't look back. Just keep looking forward. And keep running. Rule number 2: if you kill something, you make sure it's dead and you keep killing it. You chop it, you burn it, you do whatever you got to do. And then you get out of there just in case it's not really dead.
Michael Myers comes back every Halloween.
All the time. They all come back. Crazy. But yeah, that was
good. But I really thought if Will would have done it, would have kind of hit more at home for me on that one.
Right. But yeah, it was a little much. And again, it was so fast, and it was not drawn out, and it was not, is emotionally impacted. Nobody really got hurt. Nobody even, I mean, there was a couple of times they had to roll out of the way from the foot or whatever, Dustin and those guys, from getting squished or whatever, but there was nobody in imminent danger. This huge intergalactic space spider, you're on another planet, and everybody's cool, and it lasts, what, 10, 15 minutes? Not even. Like, again, we spent 10 years waiting for this moment.
Right.
You could have dragged it out for at least a 30-minute, like, epic battle royale.
Yes.
And and you stab him and you cut his head off with an axe. And that was
And it's
it.
done.
That was it.
Now they're heading back, and we
Let's
all
go
know
have
now.
ice cream.
Exactly.
That's all. It's like you know, ice cream and pizza for everybody.
They're heading back, and I already made up my mind now when they're heading back, especially when Dustin says Calvary took a hit, but we're all coming back. Hopper says, what about Elle? We got her. That right there was the Easter egg when I said it. I looked at my daughter. I said, you get ready to be sad.
Right.
She's my dad. I said, not going to tell you. I said, I already know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Come back. Elle does the thing that we thought. We knew she was going to do it. She talked to Kylie about doing it. When Kylie told her they need to do it to end it, she kills herself right there when the thing explodes, the upside down world. And even before that scene, Jason, this is where I felt like, once again, you had Nancy, you had Rocky Roberts' girlfriend, no Erica, and no teacher right there. None of that.
But that's the other thing that just, again, there's these little things that kind of make my head want to explode because you guys had time to really write this out. Okay, you kill Vecna. Everything's good. You're done.
Yes.
The plan worked. You get in the truck. You're excited. Did you forget about the army and the crazy Terminator lady that was coming after you and trying to chase you? Did you forget about the fact that you had to sneak in to the army base or army zone to get into the upside down? So when you're getting close to that point to get back, wouldn't you stop and think and go, wait a minute, guys, let's make sure the army's not waiting for us?
Yes. We need a plan.
You know, we need a plan to get out of here safely so we can sneak out and get away and make sure that, you know, army Terminator lady's not chasing like that. Just to me, like it blew my mind. Like everything is hunky dory now. Yes, you won, you saved the world, but the battle was not over yet. They missed the mark on that so much, and you got caught by a couple of speed spikes. You know, it's like poop, poop, and then all of a sudden you get caught, and then here we are at the end there. And I really want to know what the significance of Prince When Dove Cries was the song to blow up the upside down. Like, it's a great song, don't get me wrong. I love me some Prince. I love it. Love it. But I just, when you're trying to blow up an interdimensional world, is that the song you really want to use? I don't know. That was weird. It was a weird choice for me.
I thought they did wrong with that one. You know, I definitely thought we were going to hear some AC/DC Back in Black.
Something like that. Something devilish, or like you would have thought like something with Eddie, you know, a knock to, you know, an homage to him. Like, hey, let's play some, you know, Metallica, you know, something like you play like at the end of the guys, we could have hit that a little bit better.
The music selection right there was horrible. When I heard that, like, you're going to blow the world up. And the thing is, they said we had the perfect song to play on the record for the countdown. So I'm like, you think it's going to be Metallica, some Nirvana, some AC/DC.
I mean, it's 1987, so I mean, there's some heavy metal stuff. Iron Maiden, Slayer.
Yeah.
You could have went all kind of crazy.
So Run DMC,
anything, but Doves Cry. But like, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm trying to like, why would that song be poignant to like what they were doing? So that to me was weird. Yeah, so I don't know. Missed the mark on that one.
Of course, then we know Elle. I thought they did not know when they did Purple Rain with Elle and Mike have the talk. We knew
another Prince song. Another Prince song.
Hey, Prince royalties just went up.
Yeah.
His family just got paid. They got paid good money for his royalties.
Yeah. Again,
I thought it was a good scene right there. I knew Elle was going to kill herself. You knew it. It was going to happen. Good scene right there. Then everything just after that, it falls again.
Right.
Man, we still got 45 more minutes. Like,
that's what I'm
saying. We did it all.
I paused the show because everything is coming to an end. I paused the TV, and I'm like, it said 45 minutes left. I'm like, okay, some shit's going down because we still got a lot of time left. It's like something's going down. We got a lot of time left. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yes. We're missing something. Somebody's going to come out of there, the flare. Something's going to happen. Yes. I was waiting. I'm like, I'm waiting for this.
Nothing happens. L kills herself. Everything blows up. Everybody has their crying scene. Screen goes black. And I said right there, it said, you could end the show and roll the credits right now. Done.
Yeah.
It's done. They didn't. 18 months later, they try to act like the blip didn't happen with the upside down world.
Yeah.
You get the long, drawn out final curtain call, the 45-minute scenes of the guys graduating. You get the curtain call of the core four, Steve, Jonathan, Nikki, and Rocky Robin doing their scene on to say they want to stay together and continue with all this. And this is where Jason Stranger Things kind of lost me.
Yeah.
It didn't take 45 minutes to do the final curtain calls.
No. I mean, that was, look, it was cute for them to do that kind of stuff. You know, first of all, we knew something was going on because the sound waves were coming through.
Yes.
And Elle was using her powers. And when she's standing there in the doorway, there's no blood coming out of her nose, showing that she's using her powers. So, like, you kind of suspect that something's going on. Either she got away, which I think more or less is she got away and got far enough away from that stuff. Like the whole, you know, we'll talk about it here where he had the storyteller, Mike, thought, you know, the sister stayed alive this whole time. She's over here bleeding.
Great illusion.
And then she knew exactly at the point when Elle's gonna be like, yo, I'll let you know when I'm at the door. Can you illusion me? You know, so like that kind of got lost me again. You know, it's like we kind of, you guys set this up to where we know these things. When those things are going off, she can't use her powers. When she uses her powers, we see nosebleed. I mean, we already know a lot of those things. And then all of a sudden, again, the army just lets everybody go. You know, 18 months. Look, I got a pothole out in front of my house that's been that way for the last 2 years. They can't fill. They done rebuilt the town and everything is good. In 18 months, back in 1987, that's impressive.
Very impressive.
Hawkins, Indiana got money because I don't know. They can't do that in New York City. They did it here. So like, yeah. And then the kids graduate in high school. Like, I think that was a little, when did they have time to go to school? We ain't seen them in school since what?
Season 1?
I mean, yes, straight up. I mean, like, I think they were middle school, and then after that, there was about it. So it's like, and Max was in a coma for 2 years. So how did she graduate? How did she graduate college? And then, of course, they show. Then the other thing I don't get either is, okay, so we're graduation scene. You got Murray there. You got the teacher there. Okay, so everybody's good. Nobody got arrested by the military. They let they just let them go. Military just lets people go like that, I guess. And then the dad's there, the Wheeler dad. We ain't seen him. Where's he been? Like, you talk about somebody that got just shortchanged. Demogorgon, we think he's dead.
Yes,
because they didn't show him in the hospital. They only showed the mom. They didn't show him like for the past whatever, and then all of a sudden he just shows up at graduations.
No scars on him, nothing.
He's fine. I'm good. Language. So,
I thought that they definitely could have did better this scene.
Yeah.
I'm like you, when the dad shows up, I'm like, he's been gone 4 episodes. Like,
yeah,
you didn't have no type of callback, anything for this?
Nothing. Like, not even a scene in the hospital. Like, you know, maybe he's next to the wife. You know, hey, your dad's okay. He's still alive. There was nothing.
Nothing.
Like, all of a sudden, he's good, sitting there. 18 months later, I'm good, chilling. I'll go fall asleep on my Barca lounger.
Then you got the end and the close of the final curtain call. At the end, they all go play Dungeons and Dragons. How it all started. They put the notebooks up. I thought that was a good way to call it home. I thought that's where they definitely got a state ovation with me to call it home like that. Mike tells the story. And this is where I got upset. You just hooked us all and told us that Elle is dead.
Right.
And Mike said he thinks that he believes, like you said, the sister cast one final spell for the mystic of the merge. The lady of the merge, she cast one final spell. Then she cast another spell. I was like, this Colin was bleeding out, dying.
And she looked dead. I mean, he looked dead. I mean, you're sad. He's dead. I mean, if she was still alive at that point, like, I would have thought they would have at least dragged her along or figured out a way to, but like,
get her out.
Yeah, she looked, he was dead.
I mean, especially that, because you would have thought even when Elle got ready to blow up the bomb, when the bomb went off, you would have seen Collie in the background somewhere in the back foreshadow. None of that.
Something. Yeah, there would have been something.
So I thought they really robbed us with that because I felt like they should have kind of kept it how we knew what happened. That L sacrificed himself for the greater humanity of saving Hawkins and killing the upside down world, and make sure this program ended that night when they did the operation.
Right.
Far as that, Jason, what were your thoughts on the whole season? Stranger Things, where does it rank?
I love it. It's definitely up there. And yeah, they hit the home run on the final scene of the D&D game in the basement, and you could see the tears of those kids were real. I mean, that stuff, I think that was real emotional. When they were putting their books up, I think that was real emotion. Mike and all those guys, I'm gonna say fighting back the tears, but kind of showing it. I think that was real. I mean, you got to remember, these are kids that they were babies when they made this show, and then 10 years later they grow up into it. So, like, you know, you talk about something being over emotional. Just you've put everything into us, and it's your family. You spend days and nights with these people. So they ended it great. They could have done away with a lot of the stuff in between and did better, but I mean, the show overall, phenomenal. Again, a cultural icon. I think it's one of those things that's going to stick around. You're going to see it over and over again. You're going to see some spin-offs. It's one of those shows that I think it's not going to go away. It's going to have, it has that hold.
Yes.
On people right now emotionally, because it was so long. It took 10 years for this show. So you got to remember, we all grew up with these kids too. We saw them when we were kids. I mean, for me emotionally, my son looks a lot like a young Will. My son, he has the same bowl cut haircut because it's the way his hair grows. So like when I was watching this show and when I first started watching it and I saw Will, like I emotionally got like freaked out, especially when he got taken and everything started happening to him, because he reminded me of my son. He looks just like him, and it's crazy. I see some pictures. But so we are emotionally wrapped up into this show. It's not gone. People are going to continue to watch it. They're going to continue to have crazy theories and come out with stuff. They're going to continue to dress up during Halloween. This is one of those shows. Kind of like a Seinfeld, like a Law and Order, Friends. Yeah, the Why. I mean, you talk about some of the greatest shows ever to be on TV. This is going to be up there. Yes. I think it's in the top 10 easily.
Oh, yes.
Of the greatest shows to ever be TV streamed, whatever you want to call it now. So it is definitely there. It is definitely part of the American lexicon for a very long time. And, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, figure anniversaries. So you got to figure maybe a year from now, November 6th, we're going to do a Stranger Things party. You know, every year you're going to see people doing Stranger Things parties. And that's the other thing too. I didn't get. What was the importance of November 6th? November 6th.
I never told that.
1983, November 6th, 1987. What was the significance? I even looked it up. Nothing really big happened in the news. Like, so why was those dates important, not only to what happened, but to Henry? So like, was that the day he got the shard?
And that's what I think. That's the only thing I can put together.
That's the only thing I can think is November 6th was the day he found Dude. So like, yeah, they didn't touch anything on that, but no, this is top 10. Definitely. I'll watch it again. Now that I can watch it from beginning to end, and now I can look for, now you can kind of look for Easter eggs. So I think a lot of people are going to start doing that too, is they'll watch the whole thing through again. Now you can watch it from start to finish, and now they'll start plugging in some of those holes. But no, man, I mean, you could see what a phenomenon this has become. I mean, we're sitting here talking about it, and people are talking about it. People are going to continue to talk about it. So, yeah, Netflix, you hit a home run with this, man.
They hit a home run, Jason, because there's only two shows I've seen where the cast cries at the end, and it's real tears. Stranger Things and Martin Lawrence Show. Yeah, you watch Martin when it ended on his season finale, when Pam and Martin both broke out crying a little bit. Tommy broke out crying because they knew they had created magic on Fox all these years. Same thing with Stranger Things. They knew they created magic, and they know that, like we said at the beginning of the show, it is the show that put Netflix in the next level.
Yep.
Without Stranger Things, Netflix doesn't have NFL, WWE, everything else in between, Squid Games, Alice in Borderland, all those great shows does not come without Stranger Things setting the precedence of this is the mark.
It set them apart from everybody else, and it kind of created that firestorm of where these streaming networks can make innovative and new content. Because again, I mean, so many times in television now they're remaking this, coming out with that. It's the same old script. You know, Hollywood kind of regurgitates, these things every 10 to 20 years. You know, oh, we're going to remake this movie, or we're going to remake that movie, and try to get people back in. But no, it's just, it kind of showed that, you know, hey guys, you can take a chance on some crazy stuff about some kids sitting there playing a Dungeons and Dragons game, and then all of a sudden you can have a hit show and it becomes a cultural phenomenon. So it really opened the door for that creativity, which I think entertainment really has been missing, and Hollywood really has been missing, and it has opened the way for a lot of the new shows that are out there and a lot of these other streaming networks. So yeah, Netflix definitely took a chance on this, and it ended up paying off real big for them. But yeah, the theories will continue to come. Was this all a dream? Was this all just a Dungeons and Dragons game?
I swear this could be.
Which was one of my theories. I had the Kaiser Sose theory. I had the Usual Suspects theory, where this was a game that all these kids have been playing, and they were just pulling names off the bulletin board and people that they knew and whatever. So you're always going to be left with that too. And I think that's why they did the ending the way they did, with the storytelling and Mike becoming a writer, essentially. I think that's really kind of where they said, wait a minute, guys, this may all be a game. So it was great the way they did it. Really excited to see what spinoffs come of this, because again, we were left with so many unanswered questions.
My biggest take is the one spinoff I said earlier. I think Steve and Dustin, they would knock it out the park.
Oh, huge.
Their chemistry is good. They're like yin and yang, like Fred Sanford and Lamar. They just go together.
Right. And that's what's great about this. And I think that was great about the show too, you know, emotionally. Those kids, you could feel the chemistry. You could feel how everybody worked. Everybody that they picked. There's so many shows out there that don't really get the cast right. That, oh, you could plug so and so with that. There's very few shows that, like, dude, the cast was absolute perfection. Everybody they put in their main parts was like, you couldn't take them out and put somebody else in there. It wouldn't have worked. And everybody, again, from Murray to Hopper to all the kids, like, everybody had their own just vibe. And it's kind of sad that some of the other players that we saw really didn't make it. We didn't see Surf Boy anymore. The guy with the pizza van. Dustin's girlfriend done disappeared. So I guess he don't got a girlfriend no more. She was gone. So I mean, there was a bunch of people that kind of faded away in the show, which you kind of expect, because you're only going to have so much room and you're going to have so much material. But this show did it. They hit the mark. They emotionally got us. They pulled us right in, and a lot of us want to be those kids in Hawkins and kind of go back and relive those, because I mean, I never played D&D, but we did a lot of those things those kids did. So yeah, it definitely pulls at the old heartstrings a little bit.
Well, Jason, any final thoughts before we get ready to jump off Instincts from Stranger Things?
No, man. Again, I appreciate being on. I love sitting here talking with you, man. It's been an honor. I thank you so much. Again, Happy New Year. Blessings to 2026 for you, the family, and the whole Boom Broadcasting family, guys. Make sure you're jumping on and liking and subscribe. And you can check me out on 3 from DBA stuff. And then Sideline Savants will be back next year with your fantasy football. But, man, Shawn, it has been an honor, man. I cannot wait for what comes out next. I'm hooked. They got me. I'm going to watch the show again. I'm going to start season 1. We're going to start it all over again. I'm going to look for Easter eggs. But, yeah, Duffer Brothers, what do you got next, man? Because you did great. Thank you.
You knocked out the park, Duffer Brothers. 45 minutes from my front door to where they grew up at in Durham, North Carolina. They definitely knocked it out and put North Carolina on the map. Because if you go back and watch all the season Stranger Things, a lot of Bull City, Durham stuff is referenced in those shows. So that really tugged at my heart because I know these streets. I know some of the stuff they're naming. I've been to these places in Durham. Like,
Right.
I was ready for them on that.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. But yeah, dude, I appreciate it, dude. This is awesome.
Well, James, we appreciate you coming by today on It Stinks, hanging out with us, talking some Stranger Things thoughts. Don't forget, drop your comments in the comment box. Hit like and subscribe. Follow all the great content on Boom Broadcasting. We have so much content on every different platform. If you like sports, if you like TV, if you like wrestling, NBA, NFL, NCAA football, NCAA men's basketball, women's basketball, quick hits, everything you like, we got it right here on Boom Broadcasting. Jason, this is Shawn, and we're signing off, and we will see you in the Upside Down world when Strange Things spinoff comes next.